disgusted.
Is there a little bit disrespectful?
Oh, teenagers are extremely rude.
They have no filter on what language is appropriate.
Their manners are different.
I find them very disrespectful.
In public spaces like the library,
More respect.
the language that they use.
We're on a quest to find out why kids in the 19th century have less manners than kids in the current generation.
How many times a day do you look at someone, shake your head and think, how can that person possibly be so thoughtless, so clueless, so inconsiderate, so rude?
What happened to teenage manners these days?
These are some examples of bad manners that you might see in your very own school.
Just look at what people post on the internet.
Media portrays acts of bad manners, influencing teenagers to act in an inappropriate manner.
We believe that media and
technology play a major role in this concept.
And I don't blame the kids because I don't think they realize that they're actually saying anything inappropriate. I think a lot of it has to do with TV and media, and they use it a lot, so what do the kids do? They emulate that.
To a degree, people want to emulate what they see in the media, and there's definitely been sort of an increase in swearing.
And that's a difference in the generation, which could be attributed to the media and other social influences.
I have noticed that media has started making an effect, and swearing has become a little more prevalent than it used to.
I'm talking, if you cut in front of me, like waiting for a bus, waiting at a convenience store, anything, I can't, it drives me nuts.
Let's see what teachers that deal with students on a daily basis have to say about this.
Teenagers that I've taught in the last 5 years versus when I was a teenager myself, there definitely has been a change.
Today's students, swearing's become more commonplace. I think now in classes, some students won't even realize when they're using cuss words or slang words.
Teenagers have really good manners with adults, because around here, kids always open doors, they're very polite to me.
I wouldn't say that teenagers are more rude now than they used to be. It's the style of communication that's changed.
And I hear F-bombs from kids that I would have never expected to hear F-bombs.
Simple, please put chairs away from me, nobody does it.
The way they talk to each other, it's like they forgot all their manners, because, boy, sometimes they're pretty rude to each other, and they all seem to accept it.
In the past, and just as I was walking over just now towards the hallway, I heard a young girl who seems as sweet as pie, who's just very nice, and all of a sudden you hear this F and that F, and it was like I was shocked.
It seems to be totally different when I went to school. I went to school in the 70s. I guess I grew up in a small town. I was taught manners. I was taught to treat people and materials with respect.
People just barging through, people stopping in front of you.
Someone, has a cold and they just decide to just cough right in your face.
Gum chewing. I hate it with a passion.
phone their coaches who are on the bench during the middle of a hockey game to offer their unsolicited advice.
Let's see if teenagers disagree or agree with us.
No, I think that it depends really on the teenager as an individual, not so much as like a group.
This present generation acts the same way as the past generations by opening doors, staying polite, saying thank you.
Yeah, people were more respectful before, but now everything's kind of changing and they're less respectful.
I think that there's a big difference because my parents don't really care if I swear or not with my friends, and they don't really get pissed off. They're not as strict as their parents used to be on that.
People nowadays, they become really intact with technology and they become less aware of their surroundings, which actually makes them become part of their own little world.
I think some of them tend to act a certain way based on who they hang out with.
It's like our parents' generations and the generations before that were more respectful to their parents and their elders.
Call it manners, civility, or etiquette. I think it's gone missing.
I went to his house after school one day, right? His parents never beat him, and they never even yelled at him. He could do anything he wanted, and nothing was going to happen to him. But he was an angry kid. We walked into his house after school one day, his mom goes, "Ryan, go clean your room." "Fuck you, bitch!" His mom goes, "What am I going to do with him?"
Yeah, I got it, yeah. Hey,
Can I use cell phone?
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
No problem, no problem.
Hello, sir. Can I use your cell phone? I need to call back.
No, look at John's cell phone.
How's it going, sir?
Hello. How much is this?
This chocolate bar is $3.38.
Thank you.
Yo, how much is this? It's $3.38. That's too expensive, bro. Screw that.
Over the years, teenagers' approach to manners has changed. Due to the change in atmosphere and circumstances, authorities make it okay for teenagers to speak and act in a rude manner. Media and technology displays acts of disrespect and unmannered behavior, which brainwashes teenagers in this generation, causing them to act accordingly at certain places, such as school. We have come to the conclusion that it isn't that our generation has changed, but instead it is our society and media that has changed and made us act the way we do.